Let's go ahead, mute my Twitch page, send out tweets, and we should be good. Hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is January 2nd. Man, it's already, oops, and I hit something by accident. Ignore this. There we go. It's already 2018. Anyway, and this is the January 2nd. I'm all mixed up. New Year. And this is the January 2nd, 2018 TextQuest Devstream. So, today we're going to be finishing up the animation, or the timeline for our Canyon bridge collapse scene. We don't have a cleaned up version of the first bridge collapsing yet. I'm still working on that, because they do take a little bit of time to actually re-UV everything. It's like it's a multi-hour task in one solid chunk, and it's been pretty busy for the past week. So, in any case, we're going to go ahead and finish up this timeline today, which is largely going to mean that we're going to be doing some minor object replacements, and then a bunch of particle effects, and some magic effects. Hello, Shield Generator. Welcome back. How are you doing today? Alright, so let's go ahead and jump in, show you guys where we are currently with cutscene. And we're going to be making some minor tweaks to keyframing as well today, but that won't be too bad. And we might end up doing some audio stuff today. We'll see how... dang it. Well, if we can get that to replicate reliably, we'll also be doing that, or fixing that problem. But we may or may not be doing audio today, just because trying to match that stuff up is not really that easy. So, in any case. Oh, I don't know why Maximus Play was checked. Alright, so let's just watch and see how everything looks. So that's where the cutscene is currently. We do have some very rough, obviously, placeholder audio in place. We have bridge collapsing happening. We have fairly reliable swapping. It's hard to tell that it's actually being swapped out for a different mesh. And placement is good, although timing is a little off. I think the scissors, when they're coming over, are a little too fast. I think when they're leaving, they're a little too fast. So I think they could probably be slowed down by 50%, maybe 30%. And then that'll give us some nicer pacing on that. But aside from that, placement, everything like that is pretty good. So we just more or less need to get the scissors to disappear and the wizard to leave shortly after that. And those are not going to be too hard. Oh, and then of course we're going to have the magic box disappear as well, so the player gets placed right here. Okay, doing all right. Start a new game today. One I plan on finishing before the end of the month. And BRB. All right, I will save my cool response until you get back. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up our timeline. Let's go to bridge collapse. And actually, you know what? While we're here, let's go to the... Yep, there it is. Good. So, how do I want to handle this? Do I want to do... Actually, no. First things first. Well, no, we'll do that last, actually, because that's going to be one of the easier things to do. Instead, one of the things we do need to do is we need to add a new animation to our scissors. So let's go ahead and go to, I'm guessing scissors positioned will have, yep. Let's go over here. Open this up. Put this back over here. And right now, let's go ahead and just scale this up so we can see things. Alright, so we are going to want to animate a new animation here. So we currently have... Oh, did I already... Oh no, this is unformed. I want to unform, though. So form scissors is the animation that plays when they slide into place. We're basically going to do kind of like a reverse, well, not a reverse. We're basically going to do a Pac Man. So for the scissors to disappear, they're not going to go back into position like this. They're actually going to stretch all the way backwards until they kind of like spiral out and then eat themselves. Let me actually see if I can get a good GIF of this or something. Probably not. Well. Let's go ahead and go back here. So let's go ahead and we're going to start a new clip. We'll call this Vanish. Call it Vanishing Him. Alright, and for this we're going to need some position data. I think we're going to need rotation data, and we're going to need scale data. So we're basically needing the entirety of all transform values for both Sizz and Swords. We might not end up using position data. I'm not entirely sure. Actually, now that I think about it, we definitely don't need it, because these things are going to be rotating in place. Okay, scale. Cool. So, how do we want to time this? Let's go ahead and do... crud. Yeah. I'm going to actually delete these keys. And... Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and delete that vanish. The reason I'm going to delete it is because I'm just going to duplicate closed, because that's what our starting position is going to be. So we'll call this vanish. Let's go back over here to our animation. Alright. Oh, are you seriously going to do that? No, I don't believe you would do that. Hello, Scorpio! Welcome back! How have you been? Alright, let's go ahead and... Yep, I was worried about that. Let's go to our animator. We do have Vanish here. Let's go ahead and add this. Maybe this will allow us to actually have the animation be editable. Let's go over here. Come on. Yes! Good. Okay. So this is going to go back up to 60 samples instead of just one. We are going to go ahead and put it right here. Let's preview it. Okay, so this is where our resting position is going to be. And then we're going to basically rotate these around. So the top one is going to go all the way around in a counterclockwise counterclockwise circle. And then by the time it gets to the swords, they'll just kind of vanish. Although I might want to double check that. Pac Man death gif. Because I actually don't remember what direction he goes when he dies. Okay, both of them go. Good. I was worried for a second that I was not remembering that correctly. So anyway, this is what the effect we're going for is anyway. So... Okay, so I guess Pac Man actually faces up when he dies, doesn't he? Okay, so that is a little different from what I remembered. Yeah. Okay. That's not the end of the world. We'll basically be doing the same thing, just instead of him ending on the bottom like that, he will end on the right, or on the left. And then he'll explode. Which actually means we don't need scale, which is fine, because we don't have this. So, position is fine where it's at. Doing good. Sorry I've been gone. I've been super busy. No, I understand. I mean, the last couple of months of any year are always ridiculous. Um, so I completely understand. In any case, let's go ahead and say by the halfway point, I want them to be fully rotated backwards. And let's do this. So we're going to start recording. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Are you serious? I can't. Can I lock this and still have it work? That would be nice. Oh, good, I can. Okay. Oh crap. Are these things being directed by animators? Oh, that might just be left over. I don't think I'm actually doing anything with them. Not anymore, anyway. Alright. So, we're going to want to rotate this negative one. Nope. Positive 180. So right about there. And source, we'll go ahead and say a rotation of negative 180. So we're basically going to do that. And then we'll also position them at 0.25, I think? Or do we want to zero them out? We might want to zero them out. Yeah, we want to zero them out. So they're going to basically fold into each other, and then they'll explode. So we'll get that nice little wee. Welcome back, Shield Generator. We are working on a bridge. Hopefully we're going to finish working on the bridge today, because I've been working on it for like 3 weeks now. At least on the stream for 3 weeks. I mean, I've also been working it. You understand what I mean. It's been a long time. Oh, and by the way, what's the new game you're working on, Shield? Just out of curiosity. Okay, so we get back here, and currently it's just kind of going to do like a... Uh-oh. What? Are you kidding? How does that even make sense? You were correct before. Seriously. Because it tricked me. That's why. So this is the cutting animation. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Alright. Guess what? Unity deceived me, because it was on cutting. It wasn't on what I wanted, so I'm going to undo that. There we go. So we're going to put this back on vanish to where it should be. There. Jeez. I hate it when that happens. Let's go ahead and record. I'm going to lock... Okay, the frame's locked. That's good, so we'll go ahead and do this again. So we're going to zero you out. We'll say a rotation of positive 180 for you. Zero you out. Negative 180 for you. So let's go ahead. So, okay. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to rotate back, and then once it reaches here, we're going to kind of explode outwards and do a bunch of stuff. Which is not going to actually be... Oh. Okay. Not mad. We're going to have a... We're going to have separate labels for this part. So basically what will happen is we'll get to here, we will disable these labels, and then we will enable a bunch of individual letters that I can move around. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete this. Go ahead and stretch this out to about 1 second, and then that'll be good. Let's see. Pretty simple. Sorry. It's a Minesweeper clone. Pretty simple. Should be complete before February. All right. Are you gonna be at Indy Popcon again? What about Indy Comic-Con? I'm definitely gonna be at Popcon. I haven't bought my ticket yet because I don't think they've gone on sale yet for booths. But I am planning on going back to Popcon. When I do buy my ticket, I'm gonna send them a letter or email and say, you guys really messed up last year. You got to do way better this year because it was not okay what happened. And Indy Comic-Con, I always forget that Indy has a Comic-Con, so probably not going to go to that. I don't think I could afford it anyway. Although I might attend. Might get a couple of my buddies and see if they want to actually walk the floor. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this. How do I want to... Oh man, this is going to get nasty. So let's go ahead. We're going to make a child object here. We're going to call this letters. And then we're going to have a bunch of individual stuff. Let's also stop recording for now. What happened last year? Okay, so last year at Indy Popcon, well, I guess before I complain about last year, I should set context or give some context. 2 years ago at Indy Popcon, we had a pretty good setup for game developers. We had there was a person dedicated to communicating with the game developers, and she was amazing at her job. She made us aware of everything. She would stop by the booths and talk to us. In fact, that person stopped by the booths again this year, even though she wasn't managing us. But she did the rounds and talked to us. And as far as I know, everyone complained that she wasn't running it. But this past year, there was just no one. I don't know if there was actually no one in charge of game developers, but there certainly wasn't anyone communicating with us. So there were some events set up at the Scotties near there, and it's been like a tradition for game developers to go there before, like the night before PopCon starts, and just talk with each other. And sometimes there are speakers that'll give little talks and do cool stuff like that. But this year there was an event listed on the website. Well, there's an event listed on the app, but not on the website. There was no email about it, so everyone was confused and no one was sure if it was even going to happen. It didn't end up happening, but there was no way to know that it didn't happen because the people I did talk to at PopCon thought that it was going on, and when I talked to the people at Scotty's, they didn't have any idea what was going on. They, in fact, hadn't even done anything with PopCon because no one had reached out to them, so it's just like, huge mess. Clearly PopCon without the person who's been in charge of the game developers, without them there doing that, it just was not a pleasant experience. And in fact, I had a couple of developers from Ohio that were stopping by, and we met them at Scotty's because they also went there, and it was okay because we ended up having like a giant, we ended up drinking and doing all this fun stuff together. But that was purely out of our own ability to mingle with each other. It wasn't because of PopCon. And they actually asked us if it was always like this, always this disorganized, and it was kind of embarrassing to say, like, no, it's not. It's actually been pretty good in the past. It's just that this year, for some reason, it's not very good. So, yeah, it was not a pleasant experience this year at PopCon. Let me just say it that way. I really wish I could say otherwise because I really do like PopCon and I really like showing there. Admittedly, it helps because it's my first game convention, or it was the first convention I showed Text Quest at, so I'm a little bit biased towards that. I recognize that, but it seriously makes it very hard to recommend if the same level of care is given to game developers this coming year, then I would have a hard time telling people that they should go or that they should show at PopCon. Which is not what you want to have do. Ideally, they should want every game developer that showed last year telling every other developer, being like, PopCon's amazing, it's totally worth the $150 to get a booth, and in fact, it might be more than that this year. So it's just, yeah. So that's kind of in a nutshell, a really, really rambling nutshell, what happened last year. Let's also go ahead and center this. So I honestly don't know if anyone... Did you end up going to it last year, Scorpio? Let's see. I'm going to go ahead. And we're going to move you... We'll say a height of 2... not 11.5. 0.25. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we're centered. Pivots are centered. Good. So I'm going to have to line up individual letters for each character here, and then we'll explode them out when we have the scissors vanish. Okay. Let's duplicate this. So and for now, I'm not going to worry about positioning them. I'm just going to duplicate them and name them appropriately. Not S1. Because I can't have the same name in animations. That's not how it works. So this is S2, S3. Oh, I forgot the C. Is ORS. Okay, so this is S4. Scissors has a lot of S's in it. O R. Okay. All right. I might also go ahead and try to optimize them by turning off enable rich text, and that's all fine. Okay. Let's see. I saw you there last year. I should be there this year as well. Comic-Con is. Yeah, I'm definitely not going. To be fair, Comic-Con, in my experience, things that are a little bit broader tend to be hard to get attention at, unless you have either good location or a really amazing booth setup, which I am going to try to do for PopCon this year. I plan on having a much more elaborate booth setup, because I have a cart now. It's going to make it so much easier to travel. Yeah, I mean, I've liked historically how PopCon has been set up because the video games section is an actual section. We're not lumped in with anyone else. Well, that's another thing. Last year we were lumped in with artists for some reason. Like I have no idea why. It wasn't even like there was just a space limitation, so some artists got mixed in with the game developers. Like it was all mostly game developers and then artists. No, I mean like for some strange reason there were artists and game developers just overlapping each other all the time. Last year. It was nuts. It was chaos. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and scrub to here. And can I... Oh, good. Now I'm going to try to actually position things. Oh, and I guess I can go ahead and cheat first off by having the Z rotation on these things be 180. Because that's what they're going to start at. Okay, so S1. I'm going to go... This is going to be kind of awkward. So let's go ahead and try to do this. Wow, that's almost perfect, actually. So, like that, I think. All right, let's get our C. I do 4. Nope. Dang it. 3, 9, 5. Nope. I think just 3, 9. That's good. Oh, this is a capital I. That should be a lowercase I. There we go. I fell in love with the game as soon as I saw it. Love how the whole game was a pun, but people were always online for demos, so I never tried. Oh, I'm sorry, I never. Yeah, that is a problem. My game is a lot. It takes a lot longer for people to demo my game because it's inherently a slower experience, and I don't want to. I don't like rushing people through my demo either, and I know that that's not super great considering. Oops, hold on, sorry, Unity lagged, and I was a little concerned for a second. Considering the fact that that means that I'm not going to get as many people playing the game, but let's see, 625, no 6.5. Yeah, 6.5 seems good. I'm still trying to figure out a good way to handle that, besides just having straight up multiple computers. But I've had to avoid that because I don't have the resources for that. Let's see, do I actually want to? I do. Okay, hold on. Let's go 6.9. That is pretty good. Or it's good enough. It doesn't have to match up exactly, it just needs to look right when they scatter. So let me go ahead and turn this off. You can see that things are more or less correct, so we'll just go ahead and leave that as is. Alright, so that's the first one. Let's go ahead and turn this one off. Then match these guys up. Turn you off. And then we'll turn these guys on. Okay. Right about 2.5, I think. Nope. 3.5. Really? Just 3? Alright, that's pretty good. Actually, out of curiosity, is there anything that you can think of that would make the booth more interesting? I mean, obviously one would be having a second computer there, but I am not sure I could do so. Let's see, 3.9 looks about right. It's a little far left, I think. Let's go for 8. Ooh, like right on. All right. Here's the R. Right about there. 6.5. Yep, pretty much. I think we're good. And then finally we end with S. Right about there. 8.5. Oh, nope. 9. Cool. So let's go ahead and turn this off. Looks pretty good. The R might be a little far to the right, but it's not going to be something that people notice. So that's going to be a cluster anyway. Let's go ahead and turn these all on. Turn these all on. Okay. Can I enable objects? That is actually a good question. I do not know. Oh, good, I can. Haha! Nice! Isn't that exciting? Although, interesting, you can't do it on your own object, which I guess makes sense because that would stop the animation. So, okay. And let's go ahead and set up all of these rect transforms that we're going to need. Okay, so we're going to want anchored position plus, I think, position Z plus rotation and what else will we need? I'm not going to worry about scale, but I will probably need the TextMesh Pro color to also lerp. Don't need size delta or scale. Yeah, I think that's all we really need from there. We will want is active, of course. Actually, no. We're gonna totally just do that on the letters here. But we will need color. Let's go ahead and do that. Maybe try to sell the game more. From what I remember, you just kind of said you have business cards, you have the sign-up sheet. You should try to tell everyone like story and draw them into the game. Yeah, definitely this year at Popcon, I'm going to have the ability for players to wishlist it on Steam. I'm currently going through stuff to get that set up so that I can actually have like a wishlist button on Steam and people can, actually wishlist the game instead of just me telling them check back later. So hopefully that won't be too bad. Let's see. So here's... Oh, good. I'm glad that it was using nesting like that, actually. Let's go ahead and add a property for letters is active. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, no, that's fine. So we're going to have it be inactive by default, then active there. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Scorpio. You are the first subscription I've got. Um, oh man, now I have to work on the emojis for the subscriptions. I kind of never finished them because I figured not very many people would actually subscribe. But well, I'll work on that tonight so that you guys, or so that you have fancy emojis to use in chat. Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and add some properties for Sys being active and Soars being active. And they will be active by default until we get to here, at which point they will be inactive. So you'll see this. Yeah, smooth. It's like almost impossible to notice. Yeah, there's only the one right now. It's hard for me to come up with good emojis for my for my channel because all of my stuff is text, and they explicitly tell you don't use text unless it's relevant to your game, which it is, but it's really hard to make them legible because they're tiny. So Hero was really hard to get it to look right. I'll have to think of something else though to do. Okay, so we have them rotating, and then we have the original labels disappearing, so we have the individual character labels. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have them kind of like scatter out. And actually, let's go ahead and Control-Z this. So I'm basically going to do like the little fireworks that you see here at the end where he pops out. So we get the rotate, then like I'm going to do that. Need like the sword as well. See, the reason I didn't do the sword is because of backgrounds. The sword is gray, which won't really show up very well in chat. At least not in the default background for chats. If you have dark mode on, it works, but it doesn't really work in regular mode. So I have to... There's a lot of weird considerations when you're making those things, and that's one of them. But yeah, I'm still... I don't know, there's... One of the easy low-hanging fruits that I was going to do is like multiple colors of Hero, but I can really only make like 2 or 3 emojis, I think. Because my channel isn't, 70,000 subscribers. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom this out here. I think we're eventually going to end up with, I don't know, probably about 3 seconds for this animation in its entirety. And let's go ahead and change the colors of S. Oh, crap. Really? I did it on U? That's not what I need. Let's go ahead and remove this property. We'll add a property for letters, S1, Text Mesh Pro. Here's the color. Yeah, that's what I need. And right about here, I'm going to want the colors for this to actually become transparent. So let's go ahead and say 0, like that. Let's go ahead and move you to 1. So you'll see the S fade out. I'm basically going to make like a pseudo particle effect now that I think about it. It's just going to be hand positioned. Oh, and by the way, speaking of subscription stuff, I'm putting together a Discord server for, well, whatever Discord servers do. Keeping people interested in development of the game and trying to build a community around it. So I might... we'll see where we are at the end of the stream. I might post a quick link to get some activities started on there, or at least get you guys invited to it. But there's not a whole lot that's going to be going on there because I'm still working on it, and I need to figure out moderation and all of that. Figure out how to, well, not necessarily how to restrict people, but how I want to restrict people. Okay, so I like that. Yeah, and that's actually another question is I've seen people do subscription, like if you subscribe to them on Twitch, then you get a specific channel on Discord for subscriptions. I don't know I don't know what the benefit of that is going to be necessarily, outside of maybe giving subscriptions access to stuff that I wouldn't give other people, which I guess is what I could do there. Um, I don't know how I would want to handle that, but if you have ideas about what you would like the Discord to do, or what you would like the subscription Discord channel to do, if anything, because we don't have to have one. I'm curious what people do on their subscription only Discord stuff. Um, okay, so we're getting our color set up there. That's working. Okay, now we need to keyframe everything else. Um, let's go ahead and say, actually, hold on. Out of curiosity, does this have 8? No, it has 10, actually. I was thinking of the number of explosions that it has, explosive lines, and there's 10, I believe. So 2, 4, yep. Okay, that's fine. I mean, we can work with 8. I just got to figure out what direction I want them all to shoot off in, and I think it's going to be I can't spell. SCISSO. Wow. SORS. Actually, I got that in reverse. I want the S to go over here. So they're going to cross, which is not actually that great. But I want to cross that way. Oh. Dang it. I lied. Okay. Oh, jeez, that's going to make things so friggin' difficult to work with. No, okay, I gotta reset some of this stuff. Because I actually want to, I think, use the individual letters before we even do this rotation. I think I want to swap them out here, and then I'll do a similar rotation like this, but the reason I want to swap it out is so that I can shrink the letters in as it rotates backwards, so that by the time they actually get into this position, they're all basically scrunched together into one spot, and then they'll explode outwards at the end. So that means I have to swap the labels out right away. Okay, but in order to do that, I do need to actually remove pretty much all of these keyframes. Let's go ahead and say, ooh, I really hope that that's not, okay, good. So let's do a couple of things, well, I guess I can keep these on. I'm going to go ahead and make some sub-objects. So sys and soar. Oops. Soars, not sword. Soars. There we go. Let's go ahead and move these up. Put this here. Okay. Oh, piece of crap. Piece of crap. Those are not exactly what I want. Okay. Let me think. How do I want to do this? So, we get your rotation. Oh, okay. This might not be much of an issue. Maybe it's not much of an issue. Oh, it's actually not that bad. Okay. Before we do anything else, though, I do need to change their rotation. Okay, so this needs to be at, I believe, positive 180 and then negative 180 for you. Let's go ahead, put these in here. So these should have no rotation and no Y offset, which I don't think they do. I think that's just a weird, yeah, that's a rounding error, which is fine. I just don't like seeing it. I may not be, whoa, the letters change through the animation. Yep. I mean, they're not gonna I'm not doing anything crazy with that. I'm basically doing basic color lerping. But if I really wanted to, I could actually dig into Text Mesh Pro's Vertex animation suite and get it to do crazy stuff like I do for characters when they talk. I have special effects that go on whenever a character talks. But that's a lot of effort, and I really don't like doing it because it's like half programming and half animation, and I probably should make some sort of fancy tool for it. Crud. Dang it. Just all kinds of no fun here. Okay. So I gotta get this going again. Go to here. You are at, position negative 2.5. Negative 2.5. Good. Okay, so now I can position everything back where it needs to go. Like that. And that also means that I'm going to go ahead and keyframe these positions, and then I will keyframe the sub-positions of each individual character. That is a lot of work. Alright, so we're going to need letters. First up, I guess we'll keep the as active part. We will also do letters, transform, position, and rotation is what we'll need for this. Oops, wrong thing anyway. Position, wrong thing. Position, rotation, letters, source, position, and rotation. I don't know why I manually add these keyframes, considering the fact that they should automatically be taken into account whenever I do stuff. So I might just do that so I don't have to manually do all this crap. Let's see. But by default, I do want these to have different values, and that's going to be, let's see here. Go ahead and set up record. We actually want them to be pretty much matched up with these guys, so 0.5, 5 and 0. And we want the source to be at negative 0.5 and 0. So they should do this. Basically impossible to tell the difference between them. We'll go ahead and turn these off, so it's even more difficult. There we go. Let's see, maybe instead of only business cards, you could get stickers for the game. Okay. Yeah, swag is something that I generally try to change up every year, kind of. Well, not really. I always get T-shirts for Popcon, which is tough because that's expensive. And then, yeah, I've had coasters and mouse pads in the past. Stickers would also be pretty fun. Kitchen magnets might be cool too. Or we've joked about doing bobbleheads. Or I've joked with my coworkers about doing bobbleheads because I think that would be hilarious. Okay, so we basically are going to swap here. Okay. And now we're going to start adding a bunch of stuff. So we're recording. I'm just going to go ahead and start moving things into position. So let's go ahead and come down here. S1. We're going to have a position of... Actually, this one's position isn't going to change, but I do need to do stuff with it. Yep. So 0.5. That's doing the anchored position, which is fine. Okay, so position Z is also going to have to be in there. We're going to set that at 0. Yeah, so this is going to be fun. We're going to be doing basically a bunch of small things that don't really need to change at all. Oh, come on. Really? You're going to be like that? Oy. Oh, crap. 0.9. Let's go ahead and move this. And by the end, this one's going to be at... crap, what is S1 at? Did you really not save its position? Why? Why would you not do that? You're saying that I have to manually do this? Of course you are. Oy. Alright, we're going to go back over here to C. That's interesting. So this is 0.65 or 625? 625. 625 with a position of 0. What is your Discord tag? My personal one is Synthoid. But actually, here, hold on. Let me go ahead and launch Discord. I'll go ahead and send you guys or post a quick instant invite link thing, so you guys can get on the Discord. There's not much on there because I'm currently setting it up, but let's go ahead and say, assuming that I can figure out how I want to do this. Let's see. Create one. Okay. There you go. So that is a invite link for the Discord. That should get you should get you access to the TextQuest Discord. Like I said, there's nothing in there right now because there's no one who's been invited yet. I've just been working on it. But if you want to look around and see if you can make any recommendations, feel free to do so. Okay. Let's get back to animating. So we're going to go here. So you can see that the letters are going to slowly move inwards. Or they're going to slide inwards anyway. Let's go ahead and go over to here. Let's go ahead and grab our eye. We'll set you to be 0.5, except that's what you are already, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. 4, then 5. With 0, position of 0 there. And let's go ahead and move it over to here. We're going to say 0.625, position of 0. And then an S. Let's go ahead and slide it back over here. So 5, then 4, 0, position Z of 0. And 0.625 with position of 0. Okay, so as you can see, things are going to slide inwards. So we might end up driving that curve a little bit better. It looks a little, I'm guessing it's ease in, ease out, but we're probably going to want it to be more, not linear, but logarithmic in its curve. Yeah, we would want a logarithmic curve. Well, no, we would probably want an exponential curve, actually. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the same thing for our source part. Six, 3, 0, 1, 0. Let's go ahead and rotate this out. We're going to want... This one actually isn't going to change that much, so we don't need to do anything with it. But 4, then 3, and then same thing here. Hello, Anthony. Welcome back. How are you doing today? All right. So there's our S. Let's go ahead and get our O set up. Okay, really? 8. 0, 0, 1, then 0 again. Slide this over here. We're looking at negative, negative 6.3, I believe. 0.63. My bad. 1, 0. All right. Let's go over here to R. Let's see. 4, then 5, 0, 1, then 0. Okay, let's go ahead and go back over here. We're going to have 0.63. All right, last one. Final S. 4, 0, 1, 0. Slide this over this way. And 0.63. All right, so this is what that looks like. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit so you guys can see it a little bit easier. So we're gonna go. Okay. So the curves that I'm going to want for this, though, are going to make it a little bit less linear. It's going to be sort of extended for a longer period of time. It's probably not going to actually look too scrunched until like here. And here you can see it's already super scrunched, but ideally we would keep them at almost this distance for a while. Okay, so that's the initial positioning. Now we need to scatter them and then animate their colors. So let's go ahead. Oh, I should have done this while I was. Oh well. Just slide this. Oh, is it really only adding it to the front? Oh no, it did it for both. Did it? Oh, that's interesting. Let's go ahead. Actually, if I move this over here to keyframe 3 and I... Wait, why did it do it for the C? Oh, that was the color. Oh, that's the name of the property. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Huh. Fair enough. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this. Okay, so it doesn't do it for everything. But might as well do so, I guess. That does at least give me one out here. And that means that I can go ahead and fade these while I'm at it. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go back over here to S4. Slide you all the way down to 0. Let's go up to O. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Slide it all the way down. Go over here to 1. Slide that all the way up. Go up here to S3. Alright, so as you can see, things are vanishing, but they're not doing the scatter yet. We're going to get the color done, might as well since we're in here. Oh man, there's so much. I really wish you could collapse things in the animation window because it gets really big. It's really cluttered in here. All right, let's go ahead and go up to here. Let's get our crap. Let's get these colors taken care of. Let's go ahead and just do them all. Makes more sense to do it that way anyway. And then I can just come over here and do it in reverse. Haha. And bam. Alright. So if we just leave it as is, they're just going to kind of awkwardly fade out. But that's not actually what we want. Although it's kind of funny that... Oh, never mind. It's just the overlapping look makes it look like the S is disappearing slower than others. No, the little arrows on the left are expanding them. You can collapse individual properties, but you can't collapse like I would like to be able to collapse all of the C stuff into one big thing. And I would like to collapse the S, the SIS parts all into one thing, or the letters into one thing. I can understand why they would do it this way, but I feel like having it be more like the hierarchy or the project would help keep things a little bit more manageable. Oh, crap. What is this? Have properties... Oh. We don't want to animate that. Oh, you're kidding me. It just did color. It just did color A. Oops. Well, I guess that's fine. We don't actually need the color. And at least I got this for pretty much everyone except for that. So let's go ahead and animate the S4 down here real quick. We're going to want color. See, except now it's doing entirely color. So we got to delete that key. Oh no, we need to remove property. And then I need to manually do it again. So let's go ahead and... It's kind of nice that I can just fade the alpha. It actually is really cool. Let's go ahead. I almost keyframed that at the wrong point. Let's go ahead and scale that back down. All right. I am going to go ahead and stop recording, and I'm going to remove all of these extra things that I don't really need. The input parsing required and have properties change, that's all internal things for text or text mesh, so we don't really need them. We just need the colors. All right. Yeah, and I mean, I assume it's one of those things where no one at Unity has bothered to do something like that. I honestly don't think that the animation window really has changed significantly in terms of how it looks since Unity 4. I mean, they've added things like this, the group selecting, and that's really nice, but it's not like they've done nothing for hierarchy management. It's chaos here. Okay, let's see here. We are going to go ahead and do the positioning for the letters now. So what we're going to do is we're going to have them... Actually, you know what, real quick, let's go ahead and get the curves set up for this. So we can do this for... I think this is all of our curves. Pretty much the exact same. So I bet if I were to look at... Oh, I never do rotation on them. Oh! That's probably going to be something that I have to do, which is kind of annoying. Let's see. And we get a little bit confused, don't we? Yes, but only because of reasons. Okay, I don't need one of these scissors I don't need, which I think is just these ones. I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need you. And I don't need you. Because we're making them just disappear right away. Which leaves all of these animations instead. So we're going to want to say... Yeah, so we don't want a logarithmic curve, instead we want an exponential curve. So we're going to want to go ahead and raise these up a little bit like that. Same thing here, so it's going to look more like a V instead of a U, I guess. And that will mean that we do that. Although I need to work on that clearly. That was the rotations, which means that's not what I actually wanted to do. Let's just go ahead and grab positioning. Oh, except I have to do it on the individual letters. Okay. Let's see. Let's multi-select anchored position on everything. Anchored, which I'm going to have to expand, of course. Oh, and this is another thing that I really hate. For some reason, when you animate rect transforms, the position variable still has X, Y, and Z, but Z is listed as missing. That's not true. It's actually called position Z, which itself has X and Y values that aren't used because they're being controlled by anchored position. I have no idea why they broke it up like that. It's incredibly infuriating that they did. Because it makes your hierarchy... It basically doubles the things that you need on your hierarchy over here, because I need one for position and position Z, instead of just one for global position or something like that. It's annoying. It's frustrating. So we don't actually care about position Z right now. We just care about anchored positions. So that makes things a little bit more bearable. Let's see. And in particular, it looks like, yeah, we want X position. Well, not X position, just X position. Sorry, that was a terrible pun. Go ahead and grab these. And this is going to be a little bit awkward, but I'm going to go ahead and just focus up here. So we don't want it to ease in like this. We actually want it to kind of transition in. So I'm gonna try to... Oh, good. They're doing it individually. That's fine. So I'm going to have to hand tune these. Oy. Like that. Let's see. So you never change, which is fine. What about you? Okay. I might have done that the reverse of what I wanted, actually. No, I didn't. Yeah, that's right. So if you take a look at it, you can see that the bottom part is actually collapsing a lot faster than the top. So it takes a good, what, 10 frames? Yeah, additional frames for it to collapse. And the reason that I want to do that is because I want it to be as legible for as long as possible. So let's go ahead and do the same thing for our other parts. Collapse all of this. And we're going to go ahead and open all of you up. Okay. Let's see. Anchored position. Wait, what? Did I... What? What's up with this curve here? What's going on here? My position getting messed up? Oh no, it's because it's the... Yeah, there we go. That makes more sense. I was like, why is it doing this? Okay. We're going to do the same thing. Let's go ahead and just kind of do that. Position.x. Grab this. Grab this. Anchor position.x. Nothing's going to happen there. And anchor position.x. Oh, goody. Come on, work with me here. Rotate. There we go. So now things should take a little bit longer. So you can see. Looks kind of like they finish rotating, and they still they still kind of slide into position. That's not preferable. So let's go ahead and do like that. Yeah, that works a little bit better. All right, so that's the anchoring. Now we need to work on their scattering, which is going to be a little bit different. So let's go ahead and we'll go out to the 3-second marker. Geez, I shouldn't have done the color keyframes yet. That was a mistake on my part. But fortunately I can edit these really easily. So I'm actually going to set these all to be 1 for now, and then I'll manually change them back to being 0 later. 1 and 1. That way I can see where they all scatter to. Okay, so by position, I guess frame 180, we're going to want to scatter everything. So let's start recording again. We're going to have S end up. Let's go ahead and say here. And we'll say also like out here. This is going to be a little awkward. Jeez. Ideally, I would have this actually work like a particle system where I could have it just kind of like... but I can't easily do that, which is annoying. Because I really want them to tumble through the air and rotate and do all that, and I really don't want to hand keyframe that. I'm trying to think of a clever solution to this. Something we could do would be actually pulling them all together like that, then swapping them out for a particle system. But that would be incredibly difficult to make it look right. So instead, I think I'm just going to have the letters rocket off a really, really long way away, like here. So, all right. Sorry, I had to leave for a bit. What did I miss? I talked a little bit about using specific curves to give specific effects with the letters, but not much besides that. Let's go ahead and swap back to dope sheet so I can look at keyframes. Redbubble? No, I don't even think I've ever actually heard of Redbubble. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and real quick try to roughly position everything where I want it to end up. So, oh yeah, and I'm going to have to do rotations on these guys too, which sucks. Okay, so we actually want, I'm guessing like here-ish. Then I needs to go here. S2 needs to go probably about here. Actually, no, probably closer to that. With I being a little bit further out like that. I might end up moving this a little bit further in and up so it looks a little bit more rounded. Same with you then, a little bit more rounded by going a little bit further down. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. Just we will have it collapse and then, oh wait, it's starting to move in that position already? What the frig? Why? What is going on? Oh, it's because I didn't change the... it's because of the Y, isn't it? Yep. Great. Go ahead and copy you. And we gotta paste you in. It seems like it's... Wait, what on earth are you doing? Yeah, no. What the heck? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Go ahead and go over here to 60. Let's paste you in. What the heck? That, okay. Wow. Okay. Great. Oh, you know what? Nuts to it. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and delete these keys so that things don't get too screwy, and they're already stupid. Okay. Give me a second here. I'm going to set you down to 0 again, see if that makes a difference. Does it? Nope! Oh, and that's the C. No wonder it wasn't making a position or a difference. Give me a second here. Because I messed things up. Pretty much, they make everything and you get a cut, so money for uploading your designs. Okay, I don't think I've heard of Redbubble specifically, but I have heard of websites that do that. I haven't done that just because I haven't looked into the logistics of it. Also, before I can do any sort of actual partnerships like that, my business needs to have some of its finances figured out. Because since I have no budget, I haven't actually set up a bank account yet for my company, and I need to do that. And that's going to be at least a month out from now, which means that my Steam stuff won't be done for at least another month. Because I also have to go talk to my state's government about some certain things that they did to my company without telling me. Okay, so yeah, I royally worked up here because I didn't set their position Z's. This was all my fault. Oh my God, why are you so infuriating? Okay, let's go ahead and animate this 0. So now I have to manually do this on all of them. Let's grab this S 0. Grab the I. Position of... Oh my goodness, work with me here. Position of 0. Might as well get the anchored position on everything else as well. So that's interesting. I honestly didn't think that that's what was happening, but basically it looks like if you don't... No way. Oh, no, there it is. If you don't actually enter values for position Y, it uses what's called the default value. Yeah, you can see that there's not a default listing. If you watch earlier segments of the video, you'll have occasionally seen default here, like this, default value. And it looks like if you don't enter a value for Y, then it uses the default default value, which causes all sorts of crazy things when you do keyframing later. So, no. Well, I also need to set up a PayPal for my company anyway. That's something that I've started doing, but I have not done so. Okay. Although I do have a PayPal account for myself, but I need to insulate myself from my company more, because right now, if something ever happened to my company, I think people could make credible arguments that that I've been piercing the corporate veil, is what it's called. And that's never a good thing to have someone do to you. Well, someone accuse you of. Okay. Are you serious? What happened to my C? Hold on. Hold everything. Let's go take a look at our C here. You are so... Oh, that's because I deleted that. Right. No, that's fair. Wait, no, I didn't. What the heck happened to my C then? It just had its property deleted. Whatever. Okay, let's go ahead and move this to about here. I think it's fine. Let's go ahead and grab our S. This one looks like it needs to be a little bit further in, right about there. Actually, no, we're going to go ahead and do like here. Yeah, that's better. Right about there. Move it in just a little bit. All right, so let's take a look at this. So we get... Wow, I have no clue as to why that one S kind of shoots off to the right before heading down. But that's not the end of the world, I guess. Let's go ahead and position the other letters real quick. So we're going to go to source. So this is S3. We're going to have this position probably like right about there. O will be over here, out there. Get our R, which is going to be positioned right about, oh, come on, really. It's going to be right about here-ish. And then S4, which is going to be like way down. Right there. Aha! Oh. Yeah, right about there. Okay, so we're going to see this scattering. Actually, real quick, let's go ahead and... That's interesting. This first S is just like way crazy off. Let's go ahead and stop playing. Let's go to frame 60. We're going to reset all of these, make sure that they're not doing something weird. Ah, there it is. Yep, that's why. 0. Same with the O, it looked like. 0. Let's go ahead and stop that. Let's preview this now. So, okay. So on top of all of this, we need to get their final rotations, and then we need to have them tumble in the air. Let's go ahead and stop. All right. So how do I want to handle this? I don't actually have rotations set up for them yet. So we'll go ahead and go to frame 180. And let's keyframe their Z rotations here. Wait, did you not actually do anything? Oh, it's because I'm not recording. There we go. Let's see. 0, 1. Okay, hold on. This is for O. Ah, there we are. So I actually want this to be a rotation 180. Same for the R, 180. And I think that means it's going to rotate out from 0. Yep. Hooray! Well, that's convenient. Let's go ahead and set this back to 180. Let's go back to R. 180. Everything's basically going to get flipped 180 degrees because it's going to be rotated the other way. Wow, that did not. There. And finally, 180. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This is what it's currently going to look like. So we get the. No, let's go ahead and play it. Rotation, scattering. I kind of actually like that. And then we'll go ahead and let's add the color fade. So 180. Change all of this to 0. 0, 0, and 0. All right, let's take a look at it. So, yeah, pretty good. I like it. Not too bad. Okay, let's go ahead. I think that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good rough animation. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that because that would make things a lot more enticing as far as subscribing to the channel, I think. And that's probably not a bad idea because that would also put pressure on me to do stuff a little bit faster. But I will have to figure out how I want to actually send out beta testing and how to gather feedback. Because one of the current problems and the reason that I haven't done beta testing yet is that, one, I don't have a good way for people to provide feedback, so I need to get I know there's an asset on the asset store that does like screenshots and then posting them to Trello so that I can get bug reports that way. So I'd probably do something like that. But I need to implement that. And then on top of that, I need to figure out certain logistics. Like I need to have a disclaimer on the bottom of the screen at all times that says like beta build, do not share with anyone and all that. And then of course I need to figure out punishments and probably should have people sign in NDAs or something when they get beta builds. So I can't guarantee beta builds for subscription, but that's something that I've thought about. But I'll have to figure out more crazy logistics before I do something like that. You can email, but the problem is that I don't want to. Part of the thing with feedback is that if it's actually a lot of effort, which email is surprisingly a lot of effort when you think about it, people won't do it. So if people run into like a small bug, then you might just shrug it off as like, it's not really that important. If it takes you like 15 to 30 minutes to get an email together to send me a bug report. Because it's also a thing. One of the other things is like simply telling me that a bug exists is really only the first step. Having stuff like photos so that I can know exactly where you are and what you were doing at the time is a very nice thing to do. Just because it makes it easier for me to hunt down. And of course you can try to recount it by telling me what you did in an email, but then it gets into like your human memory, which is often not actually as good as we think it is. So having a tool that makes it a little bit easier will just aid things in that process anyway. I do all that. I can speedrun your demo. Well, I mean, let's see. I think I could probably get a demo with a reasonable amount of new material put together within a month, hopefully. And I think that would be a good one to send out to people because I haven't actually tested anything like playtest wise past the castle and the sewers. Outside of like really, really, really early beta tests, like first year beta tests, and those aren't even valid anymore because they're completely different designs. The only thing that stayed the same level wise has been the rough positioning of the levels, like the actual staging of the level is roughly the same, but puzzles are a little bit different, as are actual item placements and things like that. In any case, so we have our scattering and our folding. So let's go ahead and turn off preview. Let's turn off letters, I suppose, by default. And then we will go ahead and set up our actual animator for this. So the animators it will only vanish from closed. So we're going to make a transition here. And I guess that means we probably want to have a trigger. Do we want a trigger? It probably wouldn't hurt. Let's go ahead and do a trigger from any state to vanish that just says if we call the vanish trigger is vanishing. Well, now we'll rename this to, can I call it vanish? Okay, I wasn't sure because I have a state called vanish. Let's go ahead and turn off. Oh, good, we don't have exit time. Let's go ahead and say vanish. If that gets called at all, then we'll go ahead and, oh, I guess that's not really going to give me much here. Then we'll transition to the vanish, and then from there, nothing will happen. It'll just be vanished. All right, so let's go ahead and keep this. Do I have timeline? Oh dear. Should you be scaled to 0, I think. Yeah, there we go. I also am 99% sure that I'm not doing anything with these anymore. So I'm gonna remove there. Well, before I do that, let's go ahead and save the scene. Let's delete it. I'm like 90% sure that that's the case. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, why did I do that? Hold on. Save that again. Let's go ahead and just real quick make sure that I'm not doing anything. Whew, it's muted. Okay. That means that I'm not using them anymore. Okay. Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and delete these. Whew, false alarm. So yeah, I can get rid of the animators on these things. I don't need them. Oh yeah, that's the other thing, is one of the dangers of having all the beta testers is that they're going to play through Sierra mode, or at least try to. But then you can talk to each other. You shouldn't talk to each other. You should never spoil Sierra mode for someone else. I know that sounds like a really dickish thing to ask of you, but just you shouldn't tell someone how to get through Sierra mode. That's part of the charm of Sierra mode, is the pain. And that's why I make it an optional mode. But I probably should add a little disclaimer at the beginning of Sierra mode that says, please do not share answers. Because that's going to make it... No, I shouldn't do that. I think it'd actually be more fun to see how fast people get through it by cooperating with one another. Because it's actually... I mean, it's deliberately meant to be incredibly hard. So let's go over here to... bridge... Wizard vanishes. So we have a couple of things. We're going to have a track group for scissors. And we're going to have a track group for the magic box. We're going to have a track group for the wizard. Okay. Now for the magic box, we're going to have... Do I have a custom track for this? No, I think it's just a playable track. So I should have a adjust playable, or adjust material. Maybe I did have a thing for it. Did I just not see it? Oh yeah, there it is. Render a material track. Oh, okay. That's good. Well, and it's not so much that I don't want people to stream them doing Sierra mode. In fact, I'm willing to bet that no one will stream Sierra mode because of the adventure game problem times 10, which is basically no one likes to look stupid on a dev stream or on a stream. And it's not like I'm trying to make people look stupid. It's just that by making all the puzzles incredibly obtuse, it tends to make it look like that. But it's not so much the ending that I'm actually that concerned about. Although Sierra mode does have, it doesn't have a different ending necessarily than normal mode, but it does allow you to get a secret ending that you can't get in normal mode. And to get that secret ending, people are going to have a very fun time trying to figure out how to get it. And you can't solve the first puzzle. It's meant to be really hard. I'm not gonna lie. And again, like you should never feel bad about not being able to play Sierra mode, especially in the demo, because it expects you to know things that the demo doesn't teach you, but the rest of the game does. I can't tell you what that is because then it makes it obvious. Well, it doesn't make it obvious, but it'll tell you more or less what to do. But being able to work will probably help build community. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's why I kind of backed off and said, yeah, maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I would like to see that. I would like to see the community. Oh, right. Hold on. I gotta go ahead and we're gonna go to scissors. Oh, I'm sorry, not scissors. Player positioned. Where's my magic box? There it is, the magic box. So I need to grab the magic box here. We're going to go ahead and grab, 0 magic box. Instance, I think, is fine. Property, I don't remember. Let me take a look at this. Place position, magic box, material. Okay, so it's just emission color that I want. Actually, can I copy these? Oh, can I paste them? That would make things so much easier. Do it. No! Disappointment. Oh well. Well, that just means I have to manually do it by hand. Let's see. Player position. Let's go ahead and grab this. I really wish I could do a copy values. That would be nice. Type is going to be color. It's going to fade between. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and forth on this a little bit. If it makes you feel any better, actually the current version of Sierra mode is way too lenient in my opinion. Because what actually should happen in Sierra mode when you try to eat the key is it should actually eat the key. Wait, unless it does that currently. I didn't think it did that currently. It might. It's hard to remember because I kind of gradually add those things. But if it doesn't let you actually eat the wax key in Sierra mode right now, it will in the future because that's what I want to be able to do. That's the level of difficulty I'm talking about. You can totally eat things that you wouldn't think you could eat. Alright, so that's that. Let's go ahead and swap back real quick. Not scissors position, player positioned. I gotta grab that. I gotta grab this color, which is just FFFFF. Oh, I guess that's fair. So it's just white and then blown out by 3. With a curve, that's an S curve. Okay. Wizard vanishes. Grab this. We want it to go to white, so times 3. Okay. Let's go ahead and scale this down. I think we're doing 1 second for the entire thing, I believe, so it should take 2 clips. Let's duplicate this. I'm going to put this in reverse. 3, 2, 1. Alright. Save that out. Yes, it does eat the key. Okay. So, well, yeah, I mean, Sierra mode is meant to be frustrating like that. It's basically me being a sadistic game designer. Hence why I put a key right next to a locked door, so that you'll try to use that wrong key on that door and then you'll break it. I can't tell you how cathartic it is to do stuff like that as a designer. Like, it's mean, but that's the point of Sierra mode, is me basically being old school game developer design sensibilities. Okay, so we have our colors coming in. That's good. So basically what I want to do here is I want to have the box flash. Oops, hold on. Let's go to activation track. There we go. We want the box to flash. Let's go ahead and make you inactive. Oh, revert. Did this have this before? I don't remember that. All right. Well, whatever. We're going to have the box flash white. When it does so, it's also going to disable a component, which is going to be fun. In fact, I don't even know if I can do that. Do I have something for that? No. Although, hold on. Excuse me. I had a sneeze. That was not what I meant to do. Alright, getting a drink real quick. But yeah, as far as Sierra mode is concerned, if you want to hear a funny story, about a year ago, I was playtesting the game at Pixel Pop, and there was one kid who came up, and maybe it was Popcon. It was one of the two. I had a kid who came up, started playing Sierra mode, and I didn't realize he was. And then I came back, and he had finished the demo. And I came back, and like halfway through his playthrough, and he had finished the demo. And I was legitimately baffled because he made it past all of my traps by sheer accident. And the kid hadn't even played the original like normal version of the game. He just managed to get through Sierra mode by itself. And I was like, huh, I kind of feel like that means I didn't make it hard enough then. How far back do you have to restart? So that particular thing that he's talking about, the key breaks. In Sierra mode, when you use a item incorrectly, it will actually break. So if you use a key on the wrong door, then the door will break the key. But to be fair, that's the only place in Sierra mode that I'm going to be that punishing, really, outside of keys. And it's almost always going to be close to a place that you can probably restart from. And in that case, what he's talking about is like, I don't know, 2 minutes after the game starts. So it's not very far away from the very beginning of the game. So it's not that punishing. But I guess later parts of the game would be. And of course, as soon as you do something that breaks the game, it says you're filled with a sense of dread. And then it says a sense of dread comes over you, I believe. And it doesn't do it right now, but in the future, in Sierra mode, when you make the game unwinnable, every time you do something, if the game is unwinnable, it's going to say you are filled with dread. Or maybe every time you open up the menu, or the input menu, it'll just say you are filled with dread. So that the game will let you know that you're in an unwinnable state. You can't win. Okay, so let's go ahead. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. So we want this to be active, and by the end it's going to be inactive. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Yep, that's pretty much what we want. We don't want to enable object rotation. But I guess I don't really have anything else. I'm actually kind of curious. Is this just only enabling a behavior? But yeah, if you haven't played Sierra mode Shield, I don't remember if you played it while we were at GDEX, but it's basically like classic text adventure design. So all the puzzles are incredibly obtuse and hard to get, like hard to understand. It's basically moon logic, and I deliberately do things that are mean as a designer to make you restart, or at the very least reload. All right, let's go ahead and turn these things off. Let's see, here we go. Enable object rotation. Oh, that's the clip, right? Definition. Okay, so I just enable it. That's fair. Let's go ahead and save that. So I'm gonna, I guess, make a new playable real quick that's gonna be for enabling and disabling components. So let's go up here to Sleepy Allsoft, if it ever compiles. All right, and Sleepy Allsoft. Let's go ahead and open this up. Common timeline scripts. Oh, I guess tracks actually. We'll add one for components. And we'll go ahead and say enable component. We will say create playables, playable behavior. So this is going to be enable component behavior. And we're not going to need a custom clip for this, or a custom track for this. We just need the clip and the behavior. Once it ever compiles. Hate how long it takes. Playable asset. So this is going to be enable component clip. All right. Go ahead and open these up. Reload all. Really? Still compiling? Fine. Go ahead and start doing this. Get rid of you. We are going to keep this in the common namespace. Let's see. So for enable component behavior, we are going to want a couple of things. We're going to want to go ahead and get rid of these guys. Let's see. We don't need... do I want behavior pause? No, we'll probably only do this on start. We don't need prepare frame at all. So I think I only need these three. Let's go ahead and go back here. Open up the clip. All right. Delete this. So we're going to go ahead and say script playable. Enable component behavior. We'll call this playable is equal to graph dot. Sorry. Script playable enable component behavior dot create. Oh my goodness. Based off of the graph. And of course we're going to return playable at the end here. Then we have to do behaviors. So we're going to say enable component behavior is equal to playable dot get behavior. Okay. Then we're going to have fields that we need to set. So yeah, we'll go ahead and just make this a basic one. So I'm going to go ahead and say serialize field private component. No, not compass. Component. I guess we'll just say component. Go ahead and do a tooltip. Component to enable or disable. And then we'll go ahead and say serialize field private bool enabled is equal to false. And then we'll go ahead and say tooltip should the component be enabled or disabled. Go ahead and set this to be true by default as well. Okay. Sorry. I'm gonna let that compile so I can blow my nose. Sorry about that. Turned off my mic so you guys wouldn't hear me blowing my nose. Alright, let's go back to our behavior real quick, because I got to set those fields. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these. Go up here. Get rid of the serialized stuff. Make this public. Okay. Come back down here. We're going to say behavior.component is equal to component. Then behavior.enabled is equal. Oh, crap. Is equal to enabled. That might be okay. I think this, as long as this does not. Okay, good. It doesn't derive from component, so yeah, we're fine. I was a little worried that I was going to hide it, but it didn't. I can speedrun normal mode. How fast, or how many words do you use? Like, what are you down to? I'm curious to see how low people will be able to finish the game, like the number of words that they use. And there's definitely going to be achievements, obviously, for using. I have a list of achievements that I want to add to the game. I'm gonna clean my glasses real quick. And one of them is beating the game with over 600 unique words used right now. Because currently my dictionary is about 600. By the end of the game, I'm sure it's going to be double that at least. So I would like to, reward people having very verbose wording. And then, of course, I want to see if people can beat the game in under. I wonder if it's possible to beat the game in under 100. Because you can get through the. Nah, it's probably 100 might be too low. I might have to make it like 200 words. You can currently get through the demo, I believe, with 15 words as the lowest possible amount of words that you can use. I think. Maybe you can go one lower than that, but I'm pretty sure that 15 is the ballpark for that. Okay, so we have that. That's all we pretty much need to do for our component, or for our clip. Let's go up here, and this is where we're going to do all the fun stuff. So we're going to say private bool cached enabled is equal to false. And we're going to go ahead and say if application.isPlain and oh, and I did that wrong, actually. If not application is plain. And component is not equal null. Then we'll go ahead and say cached enabled is equal to component. Oh, crap. Yeah, component. Oh, wait, hold on. Isn't there an enabled? Wait. There should totally be an enabled thing. Really? Huh. I did not know that. That must be a mono behavior thing then. Hold on. Let me check. Dot enabled. Oh, it is. Huh. Okay, hold on. Collider. C dot enabled. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Really? Wait, but no way. Really? Gross. Okay, so I don't have a convenient base class that I can derive from. Of course. Well, that makes things more annoying. Great. Well, I guess I'm going to rename these to enable collider, because that's what I need currently. Let's save that. Go back over here. Rename enable collider. Collider. I guess we'll go ahead and let that compile, and then I got to rename those, so that's fun. I haven't been able to use please for the. Okay, I think that's fixed. That demo is from 2 Novembers ago, so it's probably in dire need of an update. Yeah, you can use please currently, so that's been fixed since then. Uh, oh yeah, and scattering little bits of lore throughout the game is totally something that I'm actually going to do. Shield. It's let's go ahead and rename this real quick. So collider behavior. I actually have certain sequences right now that I've been working on that let you see glimpses of things, kind of like the ghosts in Bioshock, although a little bit more detailed. And then, of course, there's the tried and true method of if you interact with everything and actually examine them, you'll get backstory on things. Like you'll read journals and read or examine bits and pieces of armor and such, and you'll get little backstories. Um, I got it when I first went to Indy Popcon. You mean the not being able to use please? Okay. Now that that's well, it's not done yet. It's still compiling. Let's also rename this. So enable collider. And then once all of this is done, I'll be able to actually go ahead and reload this. All this fun stuff. Let's see. Probably just open it back up, fortunately, directly through here. Haha. Tracks, components. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and say, change this to a collider, which I guess means we'll rename this to collider. Enabled. Set that up. Go back up here. Oh, and I did this wrong anyway, so this needs to be an exposed reference. Exposed reference. Collider. Component. And component dot resolve graph dot graph dot get resolver. All right. Okay. So for all of this, we're going to cache if it's enabled. We're going to do the same thing down here, just in reverse. We're going to say collider dot enabled is equal to cached enabled. That way I can set these things off on the fly and see them in preview mode. And then on behavior play, we're going to go ahead and say collider.enable. What the frick? Collider. Oh, and I need to if application is plain and why? Oh, it's because I called it coldier. Not equal to null, so I gotta fix that real quick. And we'll say coldier dot enabled is equal to enabled. Okay, let's rename this real quick. Collider. Ta-da. Oh, that's how old my version is. Yeah, that would be if that's from this year, then it's still from from 2 Novembers ago. It's definitely, I don't want to say a lot has changed from that build, but it's probably only about 80% the same now. Because there's a lot of optimizations and fixes that I made since that build. But overall, the puzzles are basically the same, and the interactions are basically the same, just a little less refined. Okay. So all of this is set up now, so we should let that compile, and then I can add that as a playable. All this game development makes me want to work on my game. Uh-oh, that's sounding dangerously productive. You never know what that'll do to you. Alright. Also, I gotta speed things up. It's already almost 9. This. Let's go ahead and add clip. Sound clip enable. There it is. Enable collider clip. Okay. Let's go ahead and add magic box. Mesh collider. Good. Yeah, it's fine. I was gonna say, should I make this a multi, like an array? But nah, it's fine. Duration on this can probably be 1 second long. We really don't care. Let's see. It is not going to be enabled when we play. I think we're going to position it like that, so it basically goes away as it. Oh crap! Ooh, I'm actually going to need. Let's see. Adjust emission color. I'm actually going to need a entirely new track here for common. Adjust render material. Let's go ahead and grab this. Grab the magic box again. And this one's just going to be color, I'm pretty sure is what we want. And we're going to go from, I am 90% sure that it is black, or sorry, white by default, except I guess it's not. It has some transparency, and that's what I need to keep in mind. Let's go back over here. So we're going to go from this color to straight up invisible. Okay. Should be good. And let's see here. So we probably want this, because the adjust render material goes across the entirety of this. Oh, actually, I want this to probably be about that. Okay, and from... Actually, you know what? I don't think I actually want this to be like that. There we go. I think I want it to be like that, which means I can probably put these together. Aha! Let's go ahead and delete that extra one. Let's see here. I think that's all we're really going to need. By the time it gets to here, it's going to be inactive. Let's go ahead and, I guess, lower this to 30 frames. Okay. So that's more or less just the chunk that I need for the magic box to go away. For the scissors, we're going to want to have an play animation track. Set animator parameter. Let's go ahead and grab scissors here. Set animator parameter clip. So this is vanish. It's a target, or it's a trigger. That's what I want. We're gonna go ahead and slide this. I feel like 60 frames is fine. It's a trigger, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, by the way, Shield, how is Stone coming? I don't think I've seen progress on it since. I'm not saying that you have made progress. I just don't think I've seen anything on it since last time I watched your stream, which was a little bit while back. Now that I think about it. Okay, so we have finish. So this should actually get our animation going. I guess we'll have an active track as well so that we can deactivate it. We'll go ahead and say inactive post playback. That's going to be for our scissors parent. And that should be pretty much everything that we care about. So let's go ahead and hook this up. We won't have the wizard disappearing yet, but we will have the magic box and all of that disappearing. And I'm going to go ahead and also slide this out. So we'll have... Let's shorten this to like there. And let's go ahead and say 90. Hello, William. Thanks for the host. All right, let's go ahead and hook this up. I think pacing is going to be a little off, but it should work. So swap over real quick to the bridge. Oh, wrong thing. Where are you? Here we are, Bridge Master. Add a play cutscene clip. I'm going to go ahead and move this way over here, and it's going to be for our and wizard vanishes. Okay, that is pretty much all we need from it for right now. So let's take a look at this. In game. Maximize on play on. Okay. So we should have everything up through the wizard actually casting the spells, cutting the bridges, the scissors disappearing, and the player's magic wrong way. And the magic box actually vanishing as well. Still need a lot of audio passes though. I also need to do like line renderers or something on that. Oh, I guess I could do a line renderer. There's no reason I can't. I just completely forgot about the line renderer component, actually. I should hook that up to see what it looks like. God, the placeholder audio. Uh-oh. Ah! What's going on? It froze for some... What the freak is going on here? Okay, hold on. I gotta play that again. It was like... weirdly... Oh, I bet I know what it was. Okay, never mind. I know what it was. Hello! Hello. Sorry, I was going to say hello VR for breakfast, and I read your name as Flar for some reason. Hello VR for breakfast. This is Text Quest. It is a first-person text-based adventure where everything in the world is made up of text. So, canyon says the word canyon. Waterfall says the word waterfall. River says the word river. And, pretty much everything goes along like that. And you actually interact with everything by typing what you want to do with it. So, hello, Vosiliv or Voxiliv? Voxiliv. I'm terrible with names, so I apologize. Okay, so something that I totally forgot to do is when we actually collapse the bridge here, or when we make the magic box disappear, the player is still parented to it, so it's going to deactivate the player too. Voxel 5. Oh, okay. Or Voxel V. Okay. Voxel V then. I'll try to keep that in my head. Sorry, I'm really, really bad with names. So well, hopefully I can make this interesting for you guys, getting some new stuff that you haven't seen before. Okay, so before I actually do this, I want to make sure that I deparent the player. So we're going to add a track group. We're going to call this player, or we'll say player. Player. We're going to add a... Let's see, do I have a custom track for that? Nope, good. So I'm going to add a playable track. We're going to add a clip for, let's see, parent player clip. There we go. And we're going to set the parent to none. So it's going to deparent the player. World position stays is good. We are not going to worry about deparenting because we are already deparenting. So we should just want to do something like this, I think. And that will fix our little problem that we had there. So I'm going to go ahead and say parent player. Yeah, the giant spider spiel is typically one of my favorites. Okay, so let's go ahead and play. And everything will be perfect, because I am incapable of making mistakes, obviously. Okay. I feel like I should go back and play Half-Life 2 to see how they handle first-person cutscenes like this. Because I feel like impacts don't really have much weight to them when the camera doesn't shake. I just need some form of making things look like they're impacting way harder than they are currently. Alright, so we have the scissors. What is going on here? I'm getting insane lag. Okay, hold on. Let me double check. Is the player still parented, even though I totally told it not to do that? Hold on. Let's see. Positioning? No. Wizard appears. Player positioning. Magic. Yeah, I'm still parented. What the frig? Okay. Let's go to the timeline real quick. Wizard vanishes. Let's double check this parent clip. Thank you for the host, Scorpio. So let's see here. Parent player clip. We're going to want to go to parent player behavior. Go to definition. You should play Half-Life 3. Best game ever. Oh, I know. I mean, I've heard great things about it. In fact, I've heard it's so great that for some reason people get angry whenever it's brought up because it's so great. I don't know. It's a weird phenomenon. Ah, there it is. So I actually don't care about this if target does not equal null. I can delete that. And we'll delete that. Okay, that should be good. So let's go ahead and let that recompile. So that was my fault. It's because I had a safety check in there that was actually not a safety check. It was a redundancy. All right. Oh, by the way, because I usually ask people how they came here, but I'm assuming that you all came out from William's stream. What do you guys usually like to watch on Twitch? Are you developers yourself? Are you just people who like to watch people make games? Are you people who like being bored? Because I'm super great at that. Oh, thanks for the cheers, man. Oh, that also means that you're the new high score. What is going on? I feel like everything's lagging really bad for some reason. Yep, a dev. Oh yeah, I definitely need to make the sub emoji. Yeah, I do feel bad whenever people come over from William's stream because his game is like super amazing to look at, and then mine's like, I'm gonna be doing keyframing stuff for 3 hours, and we're gonna be looking at the same stuff for a long time. But hopefully it's not too bad. What game are you working on, VR? If you don't mind me asking. I always like to ask developers whenever they watch the stream. Ah, gee. Wow! Seriously? Great. Okay, so I think I know what happened there. I want to check world position stays, I guess. Okay, let's try that again. I haven't been streaming recently because I'm having trouble finding consistent time each week since my schedule recently changed. That's fair. I mean, I still have difficulty sometimes streaming because things tend to crop up. Well, thank you, Dr. Argus. All right. I like to say I generate games, but mostly I just fumble with frameworks. Well, I mean, hey, that's something, right? What do you mess around with? Do you use like Unity, Construct, Unreal, a bunch of other things because there's a ton of tools for this nowadays? Oh, really? 2 minutes is not a very good turnaround time for that stuff. I feel like my simulation time. What is happening? Seriously, there's a huge lag spike. What is going on there? Jeez, I don't even know what would do that. It's when we get to this cutscene. Do we have a warning? We don't really have a warning that pops up. It just lags for a second. Okay. We might This is going to be interesting. I'm going to add a clip behavior to timeline that will cause a debug break. And let's see what happens, because I think that something is happening at the end or the beginning of one of the cutscenes that's causing a lag spike. It's weird. I've never seen that happen. Okay, so we're gonna go up here. Let's go to tracks, create folder. We'll call this debugging. We'll go ahead and create a folder for break. And let's go ahead, and this one I am going to actually have a track for, because I want it to be very obvious that it's a debug track so I can get rid of them when I don't need them. Let's go ahead and say playable behavior. So I want to keep the behavior part, and I'm going to want to say debug break behavior. I think that's right. Not that it matters a whole lot, just interesting. Well, I mean, it kind of matters, right? Because I feel like if it doesn't immediately tell me that someone follows me or subscribes, then it like cheapens it, because you're not getting me reacting live to you doing stuff. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's not a huge deal. But okay, create. We're gonna go to playables, asset. All right, so this is gonna be our debug break clip. And then we're going to have just a regular old C# script after that. That's going to be for the track. See, mostly Libgdex, Java, a tiny bit of Unity. Okay. Is there a specific reason you use those tools, or are they just kind of what you fell on and have been using? Let's go ahead and create a new one. This is going to be our debug break track. That gives us everything that we need. So I can actually start loading them in. Let's go ahead and close some of the stuff that we don't need. Parent player behavior. Enable collider behavior. Okay. Oh, profiler would be a smart thing to do. I'm still going to do this debug thing, but I am going to do that first. I don't know why I didn't think about that. I always forget about the profiler. Oh, compilation for Unity. I believe in you. There we go. Let's see. Window, profiler. All right. So I'm going to have this open in my other window. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Because it's super weird that it's happening when it does. It just kind of seems like it comes out of nowhere. Let's go ahead and walk. And then that happens occasionally, which I have no idea why that happens either. It's interesting, though. I do always get that null reference there. And I hit play, so of course I can't click on it again. Maybe it doesn't have... Maybe it's not finding the player for some reason? That'd be weird. So I'm going to go ahead and click off so I can keep an eye on chat. Let's see. Gdex because it's open source. Unity because coworker also uses it. That's fair. What's on your roadmap? It's going to take to 2019 content. Seems like you already have a lot going on. So the reason I say 2019 is because even though I have a lot of content already done, I'm about 60% done with the game. But I'm not working full-time on this. I have a full-time job, and that eats up, most of my time during the day. In addition to that, I also have some other engagements that I typically... Wow. Okay, hold on. Wait, no, pause. Don't go off screen. Okay, so we have a massive spike, except it doesn't really look that bad. But it looks like... Just glancing at it, it looks like scripts. Something in scripts is doing it. Maybe it's the player? Let's see. It's... Wow. Really? It's in prepare frame for director. And it's... Huh. What the freak? Wait. We're not deactivated. What is going on here? Hold on. Let me go ahead and open this back up. Let's go over here to timeline, parent player. Take a look at this. Parent player behavior. Yeah, that's super weird. We don't even use prepare frame, but I guess that's probably just part of director's native calls. Let's see. So like a lot of indie devs. Yeah, I just time. My day job is in game dev. I work for a small studio in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's where I'm based out of, and we make a variety of games. We've been doing a lot of VR and AR stuff recently, but oh no, I shouldn't do that. Well, I should. We actually just launched a game on iOS and Android, if you guys are curious, for the Merge Cube, which is like a AR thing. It's pretty good. But it's a double-edged sword, right? It's because since my day job is game dev, I can actually do stuff in preparation for my own work on Text Quest. Like if I want to learn a skill set, I can do it at work and then take that home with me. Okay, so let me think here. On graph start, if the player transform is equal to global hero reference dot transform. Okay, on behavior play, we set our parent. Okay, should I? Okay, dparent on end. Huh. Nothing in here really indicates that we would have a huge lag spike. Oh, do I want to turn on deep profiling? That would probably find it, but it seems like a lot of it's coming from something from GameObject deactivate, which I don't understand why that would happen. And then transform.setParent. But none of those I would think would be really expensive. So what on earth is doing this? Is it maybe because of this? Like this active box here? Should I instead do this? Oh, I probably shouldn't have done that while I was playing. I guess it's an asset, so it doesn't matter. Let's try it like that and see what happens. Maybe it has something to do with this. Actually, that would make sense. I'm willing to bet that it flickers on and off for one frame. So that would be why. Okay. Let's try this again and see what happens. But yeah, there's as far as content goes for the game, the last third of the game is really more like the last half of the game, just in terms of design and actual content. The levels get a lot larger and a lot more complex and intertwined than the first 2/3 of the game. So I just have to actually, model and texture all those things. I still need to find a composer, and all the fun things that indie devs do that aren't actually part of direct game development sometimes. Okay. Now we should also set up the color lerping on the scissors when they fade in. I'm a little sad because you can kind of tell the models are getting swapped out. There's like a very slight delay. Whoa, I don't know what happened there. Ah, see? I was right. It was because of the weird way that Unity handles its own freaking built-in scripts. Okay, well, let that be a lesson to you. If you are ever working with timeline and you use an activation track, make sure that your active track starts at the beginning of your graph. Otherwise, for some reason, it causes lag spikes. So that's great. Well, we can do these real quick, so I can have these debug functionalities. Actually, you know what? I might end up rolling those into one fancy one, so I guess we'll hold off on those for now. I'll probably finish those off the stream. Let's see. All the things indie devs do that aren't part of actual development. Yeah. What's the phrase? I usually have a phrase for that. I think I call it non-development development or something like that, or non-game development. And that's for all the stuff that you have to do as an indie dev, like business management, signing up for conventions, basically everything that's not actually making the game. And it really sucks when you have to do all that stuff in addition to having full-time jobs and all that, because the phrase "there aren't enough hours in the day" is really true. Okay, so let's go ahead. And actually, you know what? I think I know why it was why it freaked out. If you saw the scissors, they went to their flat form and then went up. I think that's because I actually should probably change our scissors to not have a trigger here. Instead, I should have a trigger from closed to here. So we'll say has exit time and then vanish, and then we'll delete this any state one. There we go. And then let's go ahead and real quick, I want to take a look at wizard vanishes, look at our timeline. Okay, bridge collapse. This is cutting is set to false. Is okay, so that should all be good. All right. So I want to change the scissors fading in real quick. So let's look for scissors positioned, formation, and reveal. This is going to be our. Oh, dang it! Well, yeah, no. That sucks. Okay. Let's go over here to scissors. So I have to do it on both of these, which I'm not really a huge fan of. I could change this to an actual animation, I guess, but I'd prefer not to. So I guess I'm going to have to animate the labels. Gross. Eating ramen, also necessary. That's not an inaccurate statement. Okay, so both of these things are going to get an animator. We'll just go to this. Yeah, there it is. Miscellaneous animator. Okay, so we need that so that we can animate it with our scissors positioned here. Let's go ahead and add a new animation track. We need 2 of them, actually. I'm going to drag these up to here, I guess. Or actually, probably up to here. Let's go ahead and put you here and you here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and record our color here to be like that. So it's going to start at nothing, and by the time it's fully faded in, it's going to be at alpha 1. Stop recording, do the same thing here. Alpha of 1, alpha of 0. Alright, so that should, hold on. So if we take a look at freaking timeline. So if we see this, is it not going to do it while we're, wait, what? That makes no sense. Why on earth are you not scaling up like you should? Oh, it's because I did it super early. Okay, never mind. So I just did these keyframes at the wrong point. Let's go ahead and select them, drag them. So right about there, which actually means that this value is probably going to want to be at, I'm guessing 160? Really? Huh. 180? Okay. Let's go ahead, do the same thing here, edit key, it's going to be at value 300. Edit key, 180. Cool. So now if we watch this cutscene, we should see the actual fade in on the scissors a little bit more. Well, there wasn't one before, so this should make that fade in and that scale up a little bit more smooth, because it won't just be suddenly like harsh yellow and all the red and blues. Maybe try building it and not running it in the editor. It could be overhead from the editor. Oh no, the lag spike that we saw was a problem with Unity's own scripts in timeline. If you have an activation track and it's not active from the start of the track, for some reason Unity just freaks out and causes a massive lag spike. So simply by dragging the start of that activation track to the beginning, it fixed it. I have no idea why Unity's own behaviors for timeline are not very well. Oh, dang it! This is another thing that I hate, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Unity's own activation tracks don't actually reset in the editor. So great, now I have to manually turn him off again for the 14th time. And I don't remember if I use the wizard or its parent. It's the wizard. Okay. So we're going to turn that off. Let's try this again. Okay. Go ahead. Alright. So, no bugs. Except when I stop playing. Where are you coming from? Aha! So this is the problem. So target position is equal to cached position. If not application dot is playing. I guess I should say and target. Target does not equal null. Target dot position is equal to cached position. I think that will work. Fair enough. It looks like I might have just been doing something stupid there. Okay. Go ahead and clear this and let that compile. And take a drink, because it's going to take I don't know, 10 seconds for it to compile. Alright. One of these days we'll finally get back to doing actual gameplay on the channel. I feel really bad whenever I get stuck in an art stint like this. It also isn't super great because all of the mechanics for the game are done, essentially. It's just content, like raw content needs to be done right now. Okay. Flip. Still need to offset the magic a little bit. It's a little better. Yeah, you can see the slight light shift when the flicker happens, and I'm guessing that's because of how. Oh, freaking really? Well, whatever. So we are getting things mostly taken care of there. I do have one thing that I want to. I don't think this has a collider on it. I'm gonna die. Okay. We are gonna do one more thing, and then we'll probably call it a night, just because it's been about. We're at the 2.5 hour mark. We are going to swap out this. Well, not this one, because this model gets swapped out already. We're going to swap out the final bridge collapsed mesh with a static version of it so that it's more efficient. So let's go ahead and go over here to Wizard Vanishes. We're going to add a track group for bridges. We'll add a subgroup for bridge 2. Bridge 2. And this will be just basically 2 activation tracks. One that will set one to be active and one that will set one to be inactive. All right. And the active one is going to be that, and the inactive one is going to be, I believe, this one. All right. So if I stop playing, okay. And we'll go ahead and double check that can actually happen. We're also going to need, now that I think about it, a couple of scripts to change game object layers and do a couple of other things, because we need to convert these 2 posts, well, and technically these 2 posts, to be the interactive layer when we're done with this cutscene. But I'm not going to worry about that for now. I just want to swap these bridges out. So let's take a look at this, see what this looks like. Over here to the timeline, turn off preview. Good. Everything's in place. Everything looks good. So what should happen is we should be able to basically get all the way through the cutscene. Everything should more or less vanish except for the wizard himself. And actually, you know what? Before we do anything else, I would like to double check my animation for. Where are you? Not right there. Bridge collapse. vanishes. Actually want scissors. Here we go. So for some reason, it seems like our animator for scissors is not really doing what I would expect. And by that, I mean we're seeing a bunch. Oh, great. Can I not get a preview for this? Because that would be super nice. Really? Okay, if I drag you, will you not work? No, you're not going to work with me, are you? Is it because your parent is scaled? Just out of curiosity. I'm not going to be mad if that's the case. I just would like to know. Dang it. Okay, I don't know why it flattens out like this before it then disappears. It doesn't really make sense for it to do that. Because I'm pretty sure that the is closed animation is just it formed but closed. So, it's fine for now, I guess. Go ahead and zero this out. And make sure that everything is set up. I mean, it could be a trigger thing, too. Or actually, you know what? We're going to go ahead and turn off Maximize on Play, and I'm going to keep an eye on the Animator for this to see if it's doing stuff that I don't expect. As well as, just real quick, double checking all of this. Let's see. Scissors, scissors, scissors. I don't do anything with you as far as enabling or disabling you. Alright. Maybe it's something to do with the actual animation itself. That would be weird. Here. One quick check that I want to do here. Let's go to scissors here. Let's go to animation. What? Really? What are you talking about? No animator. There. Okay. Weird. Let's go over here to vanish. Is it? No? That's... Huh. Weird. Is it because we're setting the isActive to be false on the first frame? I wonder. That could be it. That could be a weird Unity animation bug. Well, either way, let's just go ahead and take a look at this, see what it looks like in motion, and then we'll call it a night, I think. Alright, so let's go ahead and maximize on play. I will be very excited to move on from the bridge collapse cutscene. A lot of new tools that I learned, and that's cool, but I feel like after 3 weeks it gets a little old on the Devstream. So, the next thing we're going to be doing after this is setting up the shrine interactions, which you can maybe see. Nope, the box is too much. There's a shrine down there. Oh, man. It's like all the static positions you can't see from. And you have to get a sword and raise it above your head when you're in that area. And we need to set that interaction up. Yeah, the slight color change is really annoying to me there. Alright. So I should be able to stand on... Yay! The fact that my cursor is changing means that it is an interactive object, which means that it is correct. Cool. I'm going to, real quick... Oops, wrong thing. Oh, right. Hold on. Oh, no, I just did NC. There we go. I just want to see if I can actually reach that plank comfortably. Can I? Yes! Okay. It's very important that that plank be there, because without it, the player would have no way to climb back up this this bridge, and if they drop items up there, they would never be able to get them. So that's one of the fun things about making this game, is I need to make sure that the player can never get themselves stuck like that. Okay. So that's a pretty good place to stop for the night, I think. We have... more or less a through line for this entire cutscene. We just have probably about the last 15 to 20% to finish up, and that's going to be just making the wizard disappear up there. And then me finishing up the Karate simulation for this, well, the cleaning up of it. because obviously right now it's super ugly, and that one that's playing isn't even the one I'm using. And then we have a couple of other models I'm going to have to do, but that's not going to take too long. Thank you, Scorpio. You are now the high score. Or the top cheerer. I don't know what the term is for that. Either way, thank you. Also, that's like a super fancy icon. I don't think I've seen that one before. Anyway, so that's a pretty good place to stop for the night. Announcements. Nothing really to announce. We'll be back streaming again on Thursday, 7 p.m. Same time as usual. And we will, if I don't get this finished up, we'll probably put the finishing touches on this. And if I do have it finished up, then we'll move on to setting up this little interaction over here, which is going to involve, let's see, it's going to involve a sword, 4 torches, and a staircase. So that should be pretty cool. This is actually one of my favorite animations that I did a while back, and getting it actually hooked up is going to be nice. And it's just going to look cool. Also, it's going to be really fun because I'm going to use light probes for the first time in a while. So you're going to get to see how to use proxy volumes and all that, because I figured out how to do that recently, and it actually works very well. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good place to stop, and no more announcements. So, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.